Fantasy football season is upon us, and you know what that means. It's time to prepare for your fantasy basketball draft. So many times I meet fantasy football players who are big time NBA fans like me, but they don't play fantasy basketball. And it trips me out, honestly. It's like, it's just too much work. I'm like, what? Like, yeah, I can't set my lineups every day. I can only do it on the weekends. And I'm like, what? What part of the game is that? If you love fantasy, you just love fantasy. So, for my fantasy football players, if you're coming over to fantasy basketball this season, this is the episode for you. We are about to run down the top 50 players for points leagues for NBA fantasy basketball. We believe every NBA fan that plays fantasy football should also play fantasy basketball. Let's jump right into the value. We're going to talk about the top 50 fantasy basketball players here on hashtag basketball. We got it up in here. You can see it on the screen. We're going to just run through it real quick. First guy that they have at number one is Luka Doncic. They're saying Luka is projected to score 60.4 fantasy points. I know a lot of talk has been going down around Luka's availability in the fantasy playoffs. So I get that. I would not skip on drafting Luka Doncic because of what might happen in the fantasy playoffs or his lack of availability in the fantasy playoffs. It's something you could factor in on your decision. But if, in fact, he is available at a good spot, I would draft him, because the way it works is if you start thinking about, and I've always taught this, right? You can prepare for the playoffs in your drafts, and it's something that I've done, but your roster, almost 99.9% sure, I'm confident I can say that your roster will not look the same when the playoffs get here. The team that you draft will not be the team that you go into the playoffs with. And there's a chance that your star might be resting, might be out. So these weeks, or this week that the Mavericks have 2 games, there's a chance that if you draft someone like Giannis or Jokic, they might be resting for 2 games. You don't know what's going to happen. So for me, I just try to focus on the skills of the player, the production, the projected numbers of the players, not their availability at certain points of the season. With that said, Luka is number one, which is strange to me. Excuse me. I updated here to ESPN, as you can see here, if you can see my mouse here, but if you look right over there, over here, from ESPN. But it seems like it's not resetting or anything. Luka's number one according to this. I don't agree with that. That's not who I have in number one. Number 2, they have Giannis, which again is kind of strange for me. Number 3 is Nikola Jokic. I would definitely put him top 3. And then Victor Wembanyama at number 4. I officially put Victor Wembanyama as my number one player for points leagues today on my rankings. I moved him up. I had Jokic there for the last few weeks. I'm officially going with Wembanyama. Whew, man. He's going to break fantasy, y'all. It's like I don't give a shih-tzu puppy. Victor Wembanyama is going to be doing this for the next 10 years. At number 5, we have Anthony Davis. No problem with that at all. At number 6, SGA. Number 7, Joel Embiid. I do have a problem with this. I don't think Joel should go this high. And for me, my fear is not based on his regular availability or his production. It's about injury concerns and just the way he looked at the Olympics. If you didn't see the Olympics, Joel Embiid was literally kind of hobbling along. They were starting him, giving him starters minutes. He just looked tired and he looked old. He looked like he didn't have lift. He didn't have bounce. That's not the Joel I'm used to. So for me, I want to see Joel Embiid win and be successful and productive, but watching him in the Olympics, I did not see that. And I don't believe that this season we're going to get a MVP version of Joel. He's just not he's not looking like himself right now. And he's had multiple surgeries to the same leg over and over again. It just looks like we may have seen the best of Joel Embiid gone. It's gone now. The best of him is gone. We've been there, done that. I don't know if we're ever going to get back. Number 8, Jason Tatum. I think that's a little high. Sabonis at 9. I love that. 10, LeBron James. I'm not mad at that. 11, Trae Young. I probably even move him up a little bit higher. Tyrese Halliburton for a points league at 12. I love that. 13, Ja Morant. Yeah, I know how I feel about Ja Morant. If you've ever watched any of our content, man, I want to believe. But it never fails. Something happens. Ja Morant ends up in the club with the blicky on Facebook or Instagram Live. If it happened once, then maybe I'd be like, oh, his homie just made a mistake. Boom, boom, boom. Happened 2 times. What? Where they do that at? Number 14, James Harden. I love this. He is moving up, up, up. Listen, Paul George, gone, left LA. Russell Westbrook, gone, left LA. So these 2 guys who got a ton of minutes, ton of usage are gone. Kawhi Leonard gets injured, stays injured. Excuse me. I don't think that Kawhi's going to be healthy this season. Hopefully he is. Hopefully I'm wrong. But Harden's going to eat. Harden's going to eat at 14. At number 15, LaMelo Ball. I have concerns about LaMelo Ball health-wise, but talent-wise, I think this works. Scotty Barnes, 16. I'm going to start moving Anthony Edwards up. He's at 17 here. I'm thinking about moving him up in my rankings really soon. 18, Devin Booker. 19, Kevin Durant. Oh, baby. Man, I was on Reddit, and these people were going crazy about Kevin Durant. My man Josh Lloyd from the Locked On Fantasy Basketball podcast had a take recently about KD, and if you knew how these Redditors went crazy, yo. Like, I'm spending a little bit of time in Reddit this season, and I was like, guys, is it that serious? Like, people really be passionate. So I love the passion. It just sometimes it just seems a little icky the way people come across. It is what it is, though. But Josh is doing a great job, and I love that take. It's interesting. I don't know if I agree with it. I probably am a little higher on KD, especially for points leagues. I know that many are higher for him in category leagues. But I think 19 is fair, and I'm not going to disagree with that. At 20, Donovan Mitchell. I'm okay with that. Alperen Sengun at 21. Love that. Paolo Banchero at 22. Definitely okay with that. 23, De'Aaron Fox. That's okay. Bam Adebayo at 24. Kyrie Irving at 25. Kyrie Irving was balling last year. I'm okay with this. 26, Jalen Brunson. Okay with that. 27, Damian Lillard. I would probably go a little bit higher. 28, Kawhi Leonard. Come on, man. Even though your man was available for most of the season last year, I think this is actually their production from last season, because I think they're showing how many games he played, which is 66 games, which is remarkable for Kawhi. But he wasn't available in your fantasy playoffs. He don't play. So what good is a superstar talent if he don't play? It's like going to a restaurant, ordering a filet mignon, and when they come to your table, they bring the filet mignon to you in a bucket filled with, you guessed it, cold, hot dog water with the bratwurst residue. That is not good. That is not good. Number 29, Julius Randle. Yes. 30, Cade Cunningham. Yes. 31, Steph Curry. I think Steph should be a little higher. This is getting disrespectful. I know he's older. I know he ain't going to get no better. But how we got, I'm higher on Steph. I'm going to adjust my rankings too. 32, Lauri Markkanen. 33, skinny Zion Williamson. Left the club, left the baddies there. Huh? Stop messing with the Instagram models. Huh? He's in the Big Easy. Be easy. I'm just saying. I love this. I think that works. 34, Tyrese Maxey. 35, Jaylen Brown. 36, DeJounte Murray. In his brand new environment, I'm curious to see what he does. 37, my man, Jalen Johnson. I am Method Man and Red Man high on Jalen Johnson. I will be drafting him. I will be reaching for him in drafts. I will be reaching for Jalen Johnson. Oh, no. Ugh. Number 38, Chet Holmgren. I love Chet Holmgren. I think based on his production in points leagues last year, this is fair. I'm a little higher on him. I think he will have a leap. 39, Jimmy Butler. I am all the way out on Jimmy Butler. Love Jimmy Butler as a player. Playoff Jimmy is a thing. Himmy Butler, huh? However, fantasy basketball, dumpster juice Jimmy. Dumpster juice Jimmy, because he don't play. He just don't play. Number 40, Pascal Siakam. I don't know about that. 41, Rudy Gobert. I don't know about that. 42, Karl Anthony Towns. Yes. 43, Evan Mobley. I'm okay with that. 44, Fred VanVleet. I'd probably be a little higher on Freddie. 45, Jaren Jackson Jr. I'm starting to not like Jaren Jackson Jr. for fantasy, man, especially for points leagues. I'm starting to fade back, but I'm okay with this for now. Vucevic, there's other guys I probably like ahead of him. Emmanuel Quickley, I got to get used to saying Emmanuel Quickley in the top 50. That's strange for me to say, but it makes sense. Jamal Murray at 48. I'm not that high on Jamal Murray, so I don't know about that. 49, Paul George. I think this might be a little too low for PG-13. And rounding out the top 50, your friend, not mine, Kyle Kuzma. I am out on Kyle Kuzma. Now that you know who the top 50 players are, you need to know where to draft them. Check out this playlist if you want to see some mock drafts.